Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. Coming at you today with a couple of different news clips, as you can see in the title. It looks like more and more people are waking up to the Democrats' way of lies. And it looks like it's even reached the common sense part of the brain of one of the founders to the Rhode Island chapter of Black Lives Matter. Of course, he's getting some blowback on that. I mean, it's not surprising. Also, it looks like the mayor of Chicago is blaming all the migrant chaos and whatnot on the Republicans and, far-right extremism and stuff like that. We'll figure that one out. And then they also got their own problems with politicians in Chicago. It's kind of crazy. And also, as far as like fighting for our constitutional rights, like freedom of speech, Elon Musk basically went and told major corporations they can go kick rocks for all he cares. And I agree with him, But before we continue, I want to thank all my subscribers on here and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. If you like the channel, join the channel. Tell your friends. Become part of the movement. Also, if you want to help support the channel, in the description, there's a link to my PayPal and Cash App. So without further ado, let's get into these clips with what the leader from the Rhode Island chapter, or the former leader, I believe they said, of Black Lives Matter has to say about endorsing Trump. Here we go.
Rhode Island is back in the national spotlight tonight after a former leader of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island went on national news endorsing Donald Trump for president in 2024. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shannon Heggie.
I'm Mike Montecalvo. 12 News reporter Matt Paddock spoke with the organization's founder and Rhode Island's Republican Party chairman and joins us now with their reaction. Matt?
Mike Shannon, brother Gary Dantzler, the founder of Rhode Island Black Lives Matter, tells me he's disgusted over Mark Fisher's comments on Fox News, while Rhode Island Republican Chairman Joe Powers calling it a major win for the Rhode Island Republican Party.
Of watching young black men and women shot.
Turn back the clock to 2020. Mark Fisher, a Black Lives Matter Rhode Island leader in the streets of Providence, taking part in a rally leading to the steps of the State House, fighting for change and a voice. But tonight, Fisher making national headlines, using his voice to endorse Donald Trump for president.
Trump has done more for the black community than any president I can think of in my lifetime.
It's a bad look for Rhode Islanders, period, not just BLM.
Rhode Island Black Lives Matter founder brother Gary Dantzler disgusted by Mark Fisher's comments, calling it a major setback for all that Black Lives Matter stands for.
It's an insult to the African American community.
Okay, I'm going to cut it right there and jump into this quick. Me being born and raised in the Bronx, I visited Rhode Island a lot. I have a lot of friends in Rhode Island. What this man here is saying, that it's an insult to Rhode Island. No, he's an insult to Rhode Island. Okay. Now, what I don't understand, you have these people that protest about Black Lives Matter. Okay. I do understand that this man right here, okay, was part of something that cost him his life. But at the same time, the man was no saint. Now, I'm not saying that he deserved what he got. There's been a lot, of controversy around it. But you have one of the leaders to Black Lives Matter opening up his eyes and saying, you know what? Trump has done more for the black community, which he has. And it's not just as of recent. I mean, you look at pictures of Trump 20, 30, 40 years ago, he was always around African black people. Okay? There's no secret to it. I mean, ask Mike Tyson. He'll tell you good things about him. Ask Judge Joe Brown. He'll tell you good things about Trump. The list goes on and on and on. So here's this man saying that, you know what? The Democratic Party has failed us and I'm done. And a lot of people are done. But then you're going to have somebody on the flip side of that, and right away they want to condemn it. You can't have change unless you're willing to understand and admit to the mistakes and the faults that you made yourself also. So for this man to come out and say that, it's an insult to Rhode Island, excuse me, but in all honesty, being born and raised in the Bronx and visiting Rhode Island a lot, I've never even seen any kind of organization on Rhode Island that represents one class of people only. As this man is trying to imply that Rhode Island is predominantly black, predominantly pro-black, predominantly Black Lives Matter only. Because a lot of my friends that I visited in Rhode Island were Asian, okay, Hispanic, Irish. Some of them owned businesses, some of them didn't. All of them, from what I remember, owned homes. They liked Rhode Island, different parts of Rhode Island, Newport, Rhode Island, okay? So I find it disgusting for this man to, instead of embracing something, true facts, no, he wants to sit there and say that it's an insult to Rhode Island. No, Black Lives Matter, the radical part of the organization, or the organization itself, okay, from what I've seen so far, I think, okay, that they've done a big disservice to the black community. But let's continue.
And we love our black and brown people, and we don't have nothing against Donald Trump, but he stands for what he stands, and we stand for what we stand for. That you have good, and you got bad, and you got evil.
Okay, he says that he has nothing against Donald Trump, but he stands what he stands for, and they stand what they stand for. Okay, so what exactly does he mean by that? What does Donald Trump stand for that he thinks that's an insult to the black community, or an insult to Rhode Island? I mean, because I'm not understanding, they're talking about equal rights and getting justice and all this, and Donald Trump has done way more, okay, than the last 4 presidents for the black community. I mean, he's done way more than Barack Obama, who served 2 terms. And those are just true facts. So, see, this is what the problem is with Democratic voters that stay on the plantation and get off the plantation. Okay? The BLM founder that says he likes Trump and that, he admits that the Democrats are no good for the Democratic Party, he's gotten off the plantation. This man right here will not let go and stay on the plantation. Okay? Now, I don't care if I offend anybody, because I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just trying to point out what a lot of people have been saying for a very long time. You either stick with the Democratic Party and stay on the plantation, or you open up your eyes and start realizing that, the Democratic Party, the Democratic politicians do not care about their voters, number 1, and they do not care about anybody, number 2. They only care about power. But let's continue.
Those are the lessons, unfortunately. Like Mark Fisher was saying, that he represents BLM. He does not represent BLM.
But not all agree with brother.
So what is BLM? Is BLM a group of black people that they're gonna bitch and holler and moan and cry, but they're not willing to, they're not willing to, have an open dialogue, an open discussion on how to expand and flourish and prosper with everybody else? They just want to keep into themselves. I look at a lot of people in Black Lives Matter, and all they remind me of is a radical, like, Black Panther Party. That's it. Just a radical pro-black organization that says, you know what, if you want to help us, we'll take it because we deserve it, but don't think that we like you. And to me, that's very selfish. Where you'll have someone like the other leader of Black Lives Matter that says, you know what, no, I've opened up my eyes. Yeah, we'll take the help, and yeah, we're going to work together, and we're going to figure this out and do things better. But you have people like this man right here okay, that I'm not saying he doesn't want change, but it's obvious he thinks that people have to still be separate. He feels that, you know what, no, Black Lives Matter, that's our stance, and that's it. Well, guess what, brother? Have you looked in the mirror? Because that is a form of segregation. You're keeping yourself on the Democratic plantation. You're not benefiting the black community, especially when you're not out there, okay, protesting and advocating for the black on black crime, okay, the high rate of abortions in the black community, okay, all the neighborhoods that are being destroyed in the democratic cities that are predominantly American black, okay, the black politicians that are selling out the black community, you know, important things like that. But no, he'd rather go against one of his, like he said, you know, one of his own brothers, okay, and say that he does not represent Black Lives Matter. No, actually he does represent Black Lives Matter more than you do. But let's continue.
Brother Gary, Republican Party of Rhode Island Chairman Joe Powers calling the endorsement a major win for Republicans.
But it's good to hear that we have compatriots out there who are actually looking to look at the Republicans as an answer. It's refreshing and to hear that you have people who would normally not go that way actually come to the realization that it's the smart move for them, because it just makes sense to be a Republican in Rhode Island.
And 12 News reached out to Mark Fisher for comment, but were unable to get a hold of him. Live in studio, Matt Paddock.
Okay, I'll play the next clip. But, you know, I find it to be very infuriating that, you know, things are so bad in this country since Joe Biden, you know, walked into the White House. And so many cities, especially so many blue cities, have been, I mean, just torn apart with chaos and immigration and high taxes and loss of jobs and, I mean, homelessness, and I mean, it's just on and on and on. And the majority of the people that are suffering are the American black and the American Latino, and I mean, the middle class, whether you're black, white, Spanish, Asian, it doesn't matter. And you have men like this man, you know, making it seem like, you know what, none of that matters. You know, we love everybody, or, you know, we're okay with Trump and this and that, but, you know, this man doesn't represent us because Black Lives Matter. Well, no shit, all lives matter. And as long as there's people like that that believe that, you know what, no, it only has to be one-sided, this is where Democrat politicians and Democratic voters will always keep losing. Well, the Democratic politicians are going to keep losing no matter what because they're just damn corrupt. But the Democratic voters, they're going to keep losing. Their neighborhoods are going to keep losing. Okay? Their communities are going to keep losing. Because you got to stay on this pro-black, pro-democrat, pro-leftist agenda that, you know what, no, we're here to fight for this and this is ours and black power. And it's like, you know what, black power, how did that work with Barack Obama? Because last I checked, he actually left the black community in the dust. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump was the only president that raised, okay, more money to invest into black colleges, and way more than Barack Obama. But I wonder if that even matters to people like that man. Let's listen to what the gentleman that wants to endorse Donald Trump has to say. Here we go.
I think personally it's the duplicity of the Democrats. The hypocrisy. We're not stupid. The brothers are not stupid. We understand when someone's for us and when someone is not. And it's obvious that the Democratic Party is not for us.
Okay, so you heard that briefly. I'll play the rest in a second. Now, he says key words. He says, we're not stupid. Okay? But yet the other guy belittles him. Okay? saying that it's an embarrassment to Rhode Island or whatever the hell he said. But this man is actually saying that, you know what, we know what the Democratic Party has done and we're not stupid. In other words, we can make up our own mind. You've given us more than enough time for us to open up our eyes and start thinking, you know what, it may not be all of us, it may not be a lot of us, but it's enough of us to come out and say, you know what, we can make a difference in our community, because now we're getting off the plantation. Meaning that he's actually speaking as the way he should, that, you know what, that black people can make up their minds. Just like anybody else, they can be blinded and they can also see the light, just like anybody else. Black, white, Spanish, Asian, doesn't matter. You get trapped in a mindset, but you could be dumb enough to get trapped in a mindset, but you could also be smart enough to pull yourself out of it. But yet you have the other guy belittling one of his own because he thinks that Black Lives Matter, you know, the way they think is different from the way Donald Trump thinks. When was the last time Black Lives Matter? And I like I said, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just pointing out facts. When was the last time Black Lives Matter, like, you know, raised millions of dollars and invested it in black colleges, or opened up businesses, or, you know, protested in the streets of Chicago to stop the chaos? Or when was the last time Black Lives Matter ever protested in any neighborhood to stop the chaos, to push out the drug dealers, the pimps, the gang element? Because I've never seen it. And if anybody ever has, then, you know, prove me wrong and send me a video link. But I've never seen it. What I have seen is controversy with Black Lives Matter, like the riots, the killings, the chaos. What else? Oh, yeah. All the money laundering. Okay. The millions of dollars spent on houses in California and different states and whatnot. No communities have gotten any money. You know, it's funny that that man has a picture of George Floyd behind him. And I may be wrong again, but last I heard, no money went to the George Floyd's family, and definitely not in the millions the way they collected it. You don't see Black Lives Matter opening up new schools or saving schools. You don't see them in the street helping out American black homeless people, black American vets. You don't see that. Because if you did, it'd be all over the news. The mainstream media would eat it up alive. But this man saying something that's more positive, that's not good enough. And that's one of the biggest problems with people in the black community, when they have talking heads, okay, that don't have facts or talking points. But let's continue. And he's right. It says Fisher told Fox News on Tuesday that it's become obvious the duplicity of the Democratic Party shows it does not have the best interests of the black community. He's right. Well said. I mean, Kathy Hochul, she doesn't care. She's busing in the illegal immigrants. Okay. I mean, I did a video on her a couple of days ago. I got a lot. I mean, for my standards, I got a lot of reviews on Rumble and on YouTube. Okay. I mean, this fool right here, we all know. You know, he's the one that said, you know, they're going to put y'all back in chains. You know what I mean? Refer to little black kids as cockroaches. Okay. Said many, many years ago on video that he would not send his kids into an urban jungle. Okay. But these two right here can get away with saying that. You never hear Donald Trump say, you've never heard, because I know I have. When people come out and say he's a racist, he said this, he said that, I'm always like, show me the video. Show me the video or the audio. Well, he just said it. I'm like, no. In this day and age of technology, it is so hard to hide anything. The reason why it's not true is because if it was, the mainstream media will be playing it on loop 24 hours a day. And since they haven't shown any of that, that's because it's just gossip, it's rumor, it's pandering, it's just pouring gasoline on this flame. But do we have proof of the things that Biden said? Oh, absolutely we do, on video and audio. But let's continue. Look at that. When asked why all candidates he would support Donald Trump, the BLM leader said many people are misinformed about the former U.S. president. Look at that. Who would have thought?
A lot of people are misinformed. They don't really understand because they don't educate themselves on Donald Trump as a person and his history. But if they do that, I think that it'll happen on its own and it'll be organic because personally, I love the man. I mean, how could you not like if a real man? How could you not relate to someone like that?
There you go. It says Fisher's glowing appraisal of Trump followers. Similar comments he made earlier in the month during a conversation with Rumble Talk show host Kim Iverson. Says on the Kim Iverson show, Fisher called President Joe Biden a deep disappointment and the Democratic Party racist. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Boy, oh boy, let's continue.
I think right now, who we have sitting in the Oval Office is just a deep disappointment. You know, I deeply have disdain for him, and I really dislike the vice president as well.
Look at that. And he dislikes Kamala Harris. It says Fisher disagreed he was a lone voice in his pro-Trump stance, stating that many black Americans are shifting away from the Democratic Party. And you know what? He is so true. Okay, he is so true. And if everyone will stick with me, I'm going to show you a couple of clips. And here's the thing. That the new poll came out, okay, and said that in 2020, Donald Trump's support from the black community was at 8%. Right now in 2023, it's at 22%. Okay, it says right now Joe Biden's approval rating from the black community is at 40%, and his approval rating from the Latino community is 57%. Okay. Which 57% or 67%, which in any case I find it to be bullshit, and I'll tell you why. What exactly, or who exactly is it that Joe Biden is letting into the country illegally? Who is the majority that he's letting in? Latino communities. The video I put out yesterday shows you how AOC says that, you know, the Venezuelans need to be protected. They need protection status. But yet, in Chicago, you got groups of Venezuelans, committing crimes in groups. So when they say that Joe Biden has the support of the Latino community, no, what he has the support of is the Latino activist community, the illegal immigrant community. That's the support that he has. Okay? He has the support of the Latino community that, you know what, they are staunch Democrats. They will never change. But does he speak for the majority of the Latino community? No. So that percentage that he gets from saying that he's got, like I said, 67% of the vote right now in 2023, no. And if he does, I don't believe the number because too many Latinos are shifting away. What the Democrats are doing, they are trying to replenish the ranks. They know that they have been losing the Black American vote, the Latino American vote, and they're losing it fast. The Democratic Party is trying to stay in power, and they're trying to do it with people from other countries. They want the socialism. They want the communism. Okay? And this is what people need to understand. This man right here says that black Americans are shifting away from the Democratic Party. That is true. And right behind them are the Latinos also. But let's continue.
I feel like the tide is starting to turn. I feel like a lot of black people are starting to pivot off of that Democratic plantation for so long. We've been slaves to that party. You know, they don't value our vote. Their policies are basically racist policies. I believe it's a racist party.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot what he just said. Think about that. I mean, I honestly, I'm in shock to hear him say that. In all honesty, I'll admit. Do I trust it 100%? No. So I'll play along right now. We'll see. But if he is 100% genuine, he is actually speaking volumes. He is speaking volumes. Because where are all the other leaders to all the Black Lives Matter chapters around the... Never mind around the world. Let's just stick with America. Where are they? If they care so much about the black community, about black lives, like they say, black, brown, and so I've heard some of them say indigenous, but I've always said keep us out of it. We ain't got no. Don't put me into that category. Definitely not. But where are all the where are all the supporters on this? Okay. I mean, look at this crowd here. I mean, you see so many of these shirts, Blacks for Trump. I mean, what he's saying is something that the Democrats better open up. Well, you know what? Forget them. I'm glad that they don't care. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm glad that, you know what, since they don't care, more and more of their constituents are waking up like, you know what? This is it. I'm done. I'm done. And it's sad. Because the Democrats could do so much to help their own, to help their own constituents and help the country itself. But they don't care. They won't do it. But let's continue. Fisher then pivoted to his support for Trump, telling Iverson that the 45th president won't stab you in the back like the Democrat Party. Look at that.
Donald Trump he's the opposite. He's going to tell you how it is. He's going to give it to you straight. He's not going to be a hypocrite and stab you in the back like the Democratic Party loves to do.
And it's true. I mean, that's one of the reasons why people on the left don't like Donald Trump. He said this, he said that, he insults this one, he insults that one. No, he told you right to your face. He shoots straight from the hip. There is no hair on his tongue. Call it what you want. And I've been to so many states since I left New York, and I engaged with a lot of people talking, and some of them many of them said that they love Trump. Many of them say that they love him, but they just don't they don't like the way he talks sometimes. And I'm like, well, he's from New York just like me. You're either going to hear it or you're not. And it's not about just straight out blatantly insulting you. It's like, listen, if you want to treat me bad, I'm going to treat you worse. You want to treat me good, I'm going to treat you great. And in my opinion, that's the way Donald Trump is, among many, many other positive things. And I like what he just said about how the Democratic Party will stab you in the back. But let's continue. Look at this. The Oakland NAACP notably urged residents to detach from the BLM, citing an apparent link between rising crime rates and the movement, according to the national desk. According to a recent Economist YouGov poll, Joe Biden's disapproval rating is at 54% with an approval rate of 44%. In a hypothetical 2024 matchup, the latest Morning Consult poll revealed voters divided into 43% for Biden and 42% for Trump. Well, that 44%, earlier today, it was at 40%. So when those two, that poll came out and the clip that I seen this morning came out, who knows, but that's just not good. I mean, look at the numbers here. I mean, this is insane. This right here, all voters. Look at the shift. Democrats, of course, for Biden. Republicans for Trump, of course. Okay. But even for Donald Trump's voters, and this is what I want people to pay close attention to. Okay. And I know a lot of people are probably going to give, either understand or not know. But look at these numbers. 2022 for Trump, he was at 86%. Biden voters were only at 83. Republicans, 86%. Independents were voting at 37% for Trump. Does anybody see a lot of red in this category here? Look at these numbers right here, as opposed to these dismal numbers here. And you mean to tell me that this year right here was legit? Think about that. Think about that. But you know what? We'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with BLM, and there's going to be a lot of blowback with this. And I hope everybody's still with me. Like I said, I still have some more to go, because it looks like the mayor to Chicago, okay, is blaming all the chaos and all the illegal immigration influx and everything everything bad that's coming with it on extreme Republicans, extreme right-leaning people. I mean, I just can't understand this man's train of thought. But let's continue.
The timing could not be more crucial. We cannot abandon families and asylum seekers and let them go through Chicago's winter alone.
Mayor Brandon Johnson today announcing a new initiative with Chicago's faith leaders to help shelter and feed migrants.
It comes as the city scrambles to build temporary shelter for thousands of asylum seekers.
Fox 32's Dane Placco reports on how many people will get help.
As temperatures plummet and migrants continue to pour into Chicago, Mayor Johnson announced a new partnership with Chicago area churches to help ease the migrant crisis. They're calling it the Unity Initiative.
The Unity Initiative will prioritize getting pregnant women, children, and all of those sleeping outside of police stations or on the floors into temporary housing as quickly as possible through churches all over the city of Chicago.
Funded by $350,000 in private donations, the partnership will initially involve 17 churches, housing up to 20 migrants each. The migrants will live at the churches and be provided food, medical care, and social services.
Well, you look at that. I mean, I don't live in Chicago. I don't know if any of my subscribers here live in Chicago. Let me know if they do that just for the regular homeless vets and regular homeless people in Chicago. And if they do, kudos. But here's my thing. They could do so much more with those resources. And once again, they're just spreading it out, giving them stuff that rightfully belongs to American citizens, to the taxpayers. But he's also going to blame everything that's going on, like I said, on the Republicans. But let's continue.
And eventually employment.
We're prepared to receive the migrants compassionately, provide clean, warm shelter, prepared meals, humanitarian services.
Right now, a little more than 1,000 migrants remain camped at police stations, down from more than 3,000 a few weeks ago. And the number of migrants living at O'Hare is down to about 100. The pastors say they're ready to start immediately.
All these pastors have committed to start the process. So boots on the ground starting tomorrow, and we're going to start filling them up.
The mayor also responded to criticism from residents of Brighton Park, who say there's been a lack of transparency about plans to build a huge migrant camp on an empty lot.
We're not going to break away from our value system because right-wing extremism is sowing seeds of discord in this city.
Okay, I'm going to cut that right there because I'm going to show the next clip when he talks more about that. But right before I cut it off before, when they were talking, say that they're going to give the migrants, you know, shelter, medical services and all that. I cut it quickly, but if you heard it, he also said, and get them jobs. Okay. So basically, they're going to get, you know, they're going to force them to be citizens the illegal way. So you see what he just said. I just cut it off again when he says that, you know, right-wing extremists, okay, are sowing seeds of discord. I don't know, but it seems like all you really hear is a lot of Democratic voters in Chicago complaining, because the majority of voters in Chicago are Democrat. I mean, they had a Republican, some sort of Republican convention, and only 2 Republican candidates showed up. And they were both Black American. So there and I don't know what, you know, right-wing extremism is sowing seeds of discord in Chicago. I mean, I don't want to sound rude, and I don't want to sound, you know, vulgar, but when was the last time that some right-wing extremist like group was marching up and down the streets of Chicago sowing seeds of discord? But let's continue.
What we've seen is a very raggedy form instituted by right-wing extremism. Everyone knows that the right-wing extremism in this country has targeted democratically ran cities. And quite frankly, they've been very intentional about going after democratically ran cities that are led by people of color. It's the same Republican right-wing extremism that stormed the Capitol. It's the same right-wing extremism that refuses to accept the results of the Civil War. They're still mad that a black man is free in this country.
You know, this man is disgusting for what he just said. He is so, excuse my language, people, but I knew I said I wouldn't curse, but he is so fucking disgusting for the words he just said. Okay? And I say that, and, you know, like I said, I apologize, but I cannot believe that you have these people back here backing him up and listening to this. Okay? He's saying that it's the Republicans that are doing this, okay, to democratically run cities. He's saying that it's right-wing extremism that is doing this. He's saying that right-wing extremists are mad that a black man is free in America. If this is not the most disgusting rhetoric, okay, coming out this man's mouth so far, I don't know what is. I am, my mind, it just freaking blows my mind the way these Democrats are just so, man, if they were snakes, they would just be spewing venom all day long. All day long. He wants to blame this on right-wing extremism, on the Republicans. But the next clip I'm going to show you real quick, you're going to see how I guess it's the right-wing extremism, or extremists in Chicago are conducting business. Here we go. Here's a clip of the right-wing extremism in full force in Chicago.
A news conference at City Hall today by 25th Ward Alderman Byron Sigcho-Lopez was interrupted by his defeated election opponent and her supporters.
We will continue to talk about the issue of white supremacists in the Chicago Police Department, and this is very important given the clearance rates in our community, as you see.
A supporter of
Okay, I'm going to cut it for a quick second. This man has a very heavy Latin American accent. Okay? And he's talking about the white supremacy and the Chicago Police Department. Really? You have nonstop chaos in Chicago that is mostly in the Black American and Latin American communities that they're doing to themselves. You have an influx of illegal immigrants, mostly from Latin American countries, flooding Chicago, taking up people's resources. And you're going to say that you're fighting against the white supremacy in the Chicago Police Department? Do you see I mean, it's exhausting. This is exhausting, I have to admit. With all the chaos that's going on, this is what this man is going to say. And it gets better. Pay attention to the next two people talking, what they have to talk about. And I won't interrupt. I'll just let it play out. Here we go.
Flores then pulled the microphone away. Another handed it over to Flores, who then made unfounded claims of voter suppression. Election results show that Sigcho-Lopez defeated Flores with 53% of the vote. Immigrant rights activist Elvira Arellano tried to shout down Flores, eventually grabbing the microphone.
We are here to make our voices heard with regards to the voter suppression that took place.
Wow. Chicago Board of Elections.
Yeah, look at that, people. Wow, look at that, Chicago on full display. Look at that, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Are these the far-right extremists you're talking about? Latin-speaking people, one talking about the white supremacy in the Chicago Police Department, the other one talking about voter suppression. This one, God only knows what bug crawled up her ass to pull the microphone. I mean, they're fighting each other. These are all Latino people, all Latin people. Are they far-right extremists? To the man that was talking first about the white supremacy in the Chicago Police Department, does anybody here see any KKK members by any chance? Because I know I don't. If any of you is watching this video, please leave it in the comments. Point them out. Where's the white supremacy? Where are the far-right extremists in this? No, you got people that could barely speak a lick of good English. No offense. I mean, I know, we all have, a hard time speaking different languages, but they all want a piece of the American pie for their own agenda, whatever it is. And then you got one guy in the background, that's the best he can do is to fight the white supremacy in the Chicago Police Department. Not the 30 shootings that happened over the Thanksgiving weekend. No, you don't want to talk about that. Okay? Not the tens of thousands of illegal immigrants that are flooding the streets that are out in the snow now. And you heard from the mayor's mouth, even pregnant women. Where they're using up, the American taxpayers, money. The Chicago taxpayers' money. So this is what I'm saying about the Democrats. They are, these Democratic leaders, they are a den of vipers. And they spew so much hate that you heard in the last couple of clips the leader to Black Lives Matter saying that the Democratic Party is racist. But they're calling everybody else racist. And they can't even hang out with themselves. It's disgusting. And this is why I tell the people of Chicago, whoever's watching this, and also New York, okay, vote red. Get rid of all this filth, all this in-house fighting. Get rid of all that. Don't even give them warnings that if they don't change, that you're going to vote Republican. No, they're not going to change. They are flooding this country with new voters. They will not do anything for the American voters. And if they stay in power, they'll push you out. They'll bring in the new voters from different countries. And when they're done with them, they'll do the same thing to them. They'll do the same thing to them. I know I said I wouldn't keep it long. I got one more thing to show. And I don't know if anybody is an Elon Musk fan. Okay. But here's a clip of something that Elon Musk said during an interview on MSNBC. And to tell you the truth, if I had to really think about it, I'd say 80% of this country, okay, will probably agree with him. But let's continue.
What was that trip like? And obviously, you know that there's a public perception that, and you're clarifying this now, but there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think that...
Okay, if anybody caught that, what Elon Musk is saying is basically to all the woke companies that sided with the leftist party and think that they're going to hurt him by pulling their advertisements from X, like Disney and the rest of them. He's basically telling them, for lack of a better term, go fuck yourself. Take your money, go kick fucking rocks. You know, a lot of people think that they're going to hurt Elon Musk in the pocket. And a lot of people don't like Elon Musk. And that's fine. Okay? Me, like I said, I like him. Till I see different, I like him. But you're threatening the richest man on the planet? With money? He can buy Disney. He can buy Disney, MSNBC, CNN. He can buy so many different companies, so many different social platforms that if anybody was paying attention, not only can he do that, he is so damn smart because that's how he obtained Twitter. He wasn't stupid with what he did. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he wanted to do. So now you got this lapdog from MSNBC trying to, you know, question him as if, oh, well, you know, people are not advertising, you know, on X, and you know, that's gonna hurt. And he basically said, you're gonna threaten me with money. You're gonna threaten me by not advertising. Go screw you. Go screw yourself. You know. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people rejoined X. Because so many people were being suppressed by the left. And when he bought that company, he opened up the floodgates and he showed the world of how corrupt the leftists in this country and around the world are. And he can sit there and say what he says, pick up his glass of water, take a drink, smile about it, and laugh. And when that interview's over, I guarantee he's going to go right back to Texas, right back to his office, to his, you know, his wife and kids or whatever, and he's going to make tomorrow probably another $100 million before 7 o'clock in the morning. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to show this clip to show everybody that, you know what, there's a lot going on. So many different facets of information that's being suppressed and being held back, and so many different facets of corruption and of chaos and disinformation and all kinds of stuff in this country and around the world is going on. I mean, it's disgusting. It's, you know, heartbreaking. There's a lot of heavy-handedness going on. But at the same time, in this day and age of technology, there is a lot of information that is out there to show the ugliness, okay, of what the powers that be are doing. I mean, like I said, look at the last clip with the representatives in Chicago. They can't even get along with themselves. And those are people in the Latino community, where you have a leader who's supposed to be the leader for all the communities, who is a black man, trying to point the finger to people that vote Republican. I mean, it's disgusting what's going on. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, pass it around, and tell your family and friends and to join and help this channel grow. Be part of the movement. Okay? Like I said, I apologize for losing my temper and cursing. But, you know, I've always said one thing. There's people out there that can bring the ugliness out of other people. And the Democrats and the leftists are very good at their job when they do that. So this is why I always say, people, we got to stay vigilant. Okay? And next year is a very important election year. Okay? Again, I'm down 148 subscribers to reach 500. I want to reach that as soon as I can and beyond. And if you want to help support the channel, you can do so by donating to my Cash App and my PayPal. There's a link in the description. So remember, stay vigilant, keep praying, and keep praying for each other. Peace.